Welcome to the garden. Today I went around on my bike up to a really busy road where there's a nice little sidewalk just to collect some wildflowers. So I found some really nice little flowers here, little yellow ones, and these are the seed pods. And I'm going to be planting these some outdoors and some indoors. And the trick is just to replicate their growing environment. So on the side of the road you get a lot of weeds, what people call weeds, but really some of them are quite beautiful. Like this little purple one. It's a type of thistle, but it's not thorny at all. So I thought that was kind of cool. I wanted to give that a grow. Things like milkweed, and they come in these pods where these seeds cluster together, and they look like little pine cones or like the scales on like a hummingbird's wings. But then these come apart into this really fluffy stuff, and they blow around in the wind. But I'm going to plant out some of these seeds because they really attract pollinators like Monarch Butterflies. So I'm going to be planting some of those indoors and out. So I want to keep these seeds separate, which can be a little tricky, especially on things like this aster. It's a member of the daisy family. They have these quite numerous clusters of these tiny little flowers. And some of them are white, some of them are kind of purple. They can come in all different colors. And a few of these have a little bit of a purplish hue to them, like this one. So I want to keep those separate from the others. And I'm just going to extract the seeds very carefully. And once they're dry, it's really easy. And the seeds are right here in this little cluster. But then I'm going to try and mimic winter, stratifying these. So some I'm going to keep outside just to naturally stratify. And others I'm going to put in a plastic bag like this, and then throw them in the fridge or in the freezer. And that way it'll kind of mimic their natural growing environment. But I've got all these separated. This is mullein, which typically is considered a weed, but it has cute little buttercup yellow flowers all on this giant cluster. I found some grass, some goldenrod, which is a nice golden color late in the season, and just some odds and ends that I couldn't identify. But I got them all in this bag. And look at that beautiful mixture of seeds down there. So that's a hodgepodge of basically everything I've collected today. And I'm going to prep them in this long trough here. So I've just amended what's basically potting soil with some native soil just to mimic that growing environment. So it's really not ideal for growing vegetables and delicate flowers. Ooh, it's a bit windy today. But it is going to benefit these weed type wildflowers because they grow in disturbed soil, like on the edges of roads. Lots of sun is important, so I'm going to keep them in a sunny spot. I'm just going to dump all these seeds and then lightly bury them and just hopefully get a nice mix of wildflowers next year. And the ones I grow inside, I'm going to be a bit more selective. So I'm just going to mix these in, make sure they have good contact with the soil. And anytime you see clusters, you can break those up and spread them out. But this is going to be a really interesting experiment. I've collected dandelions, these asters, which are like daisies. Pretty much anything that was flowering right now or had flowered recently, I collected. So we're going to have a nice mix of autumn flowers and late summer flowers. I'm just going to lightly bury them now. And then I'll be collecting all these seeds, one species at a time, and putting them in separate bags and then sowing them out indoors. So I hope you give it a go. Collecting wildflowers. This really benefits your local pollinators. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.